Scarlett Ingrid Johansson, born November 22, 1984, is an American actress and singer. She was the world's highest-paid actress in 2018 and 2019, and has featured multiple times on the Forbes Celebrity 100 list. Her films have grossed over $14.3 billion worldwide, making Johansson the ninth highest-grossing box office star of all time. She is the recipient of several accolades, including a Tony Award and a BAFTA Award, as well as nominations for 2 Academy Awards and 5 Golden Globe Awards. Born and raised in Manhattan, New York City, Johansson aspired to be an actress from a young age and first appeared on stage in an off-Broadway play as a child actor. She made her film debut in the fantasy comedy North. North is a 1994 American comedy-drama adventure film directed by Rob Reiner. The story is based on the 1984 novel, North, the tale of a 9-year-old boy who becomes a free agent and travels the world in search of the perfect parents. Just Cause is a 1995 American crime thriller film directed by Arnie Glimcher and starring Sean Connery and Lawrence Fishburne. It is based on John Katzenbach's novel of the same name. Home Alone 3 is a 1997 American family comedy film written and produced by John Hughes. It is the third film in the Home Alone series and the first not to feature actor Macaulay Culkin and the cast from the previous films, nor director Chris Columbus and composer John Williams. It is also the final film in the Home Alone franchise to receive a theatrical release. The Horse Whisperer is a 1998 American Western drama film directed by and starring Robert Redford, based on the 1995 novel The Horse Whisperer by Nicholas Evans. Redford plays the title role, a talented trainer with a remarkable gift for understanding horses, who is hired to help an injured teenager, played by Scarlett Johansson, and her horse back to health following a tragic accident. My Brother the Pig is a 1999 American fantasy comedy film, directed by Eric Fleming and starring Scarlett Johansson, Judge Reinhold, Alex Stevens, and Eva Mendes. Ghost World is a 2001 black comedy drama film directed by Terry Zwigoff and starring Thora Birch, Scarlett Johansson, and Steve Buscemi. Based on the 1993-1997 comic book of the same name by Danielle Clowes, with a screenplay co-written by Clowes and Zwigoff, the story focuses on the lives of Enid, Birch, and Rebecca Johansson, 2 teenage outsiders in an unnamed American city. They face a rift in their relationship as Enid takes interest in an older man named Seymour Buscemi, and becomes determined to help his romantic life. Eight-Legged Freaks, originally titled Rack Attack, under which it was released in some parts of Europe and other countries around the world, is a 2002 horror monster comedy action film directed by Elriel K.M. and starring David Arquette, Carrie Warrer, Scott Terra, and Scarlett Johansson. The plot follows a colony of spiders that are exposed to toxic waste, causing them to mutate into gigantic, monstrous creatures and attack a small American mining town. Lost in Translation is a 2003 romantic comedy drama film written and directed by Sofia Coppola. Bill Murray stars as Bob Harris, a fading American movie star who is having a midlife crisis when he travels to Tokyo to promote Suntory whiskey. There, he befriends another estranged American named Charlotte, a young woman and recent college graduate played by Scarlett Johansson. Girl with a Pearl Earring is a 2003 drama film directed by Peter Weber. The screenplay was adapted by screenwriter Olivia Hettried from the 1999 novel of the same name by Tracy Chevalier. Scarlett Johansson stars as Greet, a young 17th-century servant in the household of the Dutch painter Johannes Vermeer, played by Colin Firth, at the time he painted Girl with a Pearl Earring, 1665, in the city of Delft in Holland. The Perfect Score is a 2004 American teen comedy heist film directed by Brian Robbins and starring Chris Evans, Erica Christensen, Brian Greenberg, Scarlett Johansson, Darius Miles, and Leonardo Nam. The film focuses on a group of 6 New Jersey high school students whose futures will be jeopardized if they fail the upcoming SAT exam. They conspire to break into a regional office of the Lawrence Township, New Jersey-based Educational Testing Service, ETS, which prepares and distributes the SAT, and steal the answers to the exam, so they can all get perfect scores. A Love Song for Bobby Long is a 2004 American drama film written and directed by Shani Gable. The screenplay is based on the novel Off Magazine Street by Ronald Everett Capps. Set in New Orleans, the film stars John Travolta and Scarlett Johansson, who was nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, Motion Picture Drama for her performance. A Good Woman is a 2004 romantic comedy drama film directed by Mike Barker. The screenplay by Howard Himmelstein is based on the 1892 play Lady Windermere's Fan by Oscar Wilde. It is the 4th screen version of the work, following a 1916 silent film using Wilde's original title, Ernst Lubitsch's 1925 version and Otto Preminger's 1949 adaptation entitled The Fan. In Good Company is a 2004 American comedy drama film written and directed by Paul Weitz, and starring Dennis Quaid, Topher Grace, and Scarlett Johansson. The film is set around a middle-aged advertising executive whose company is bought out by a large international corporation, leaving him with a new boss who is nearly half his age. His life is further complicated when his boss takes a romantic interest in his daughter. Match Point is a 2005 psychological thriller film written and directed by Woody Allen and starring Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, Scarlett Johansson, Emily Mortimer, Matthew Good, Brian Cox, and Penelope Wilton. In the film, Rhys-Meyers' character marries into a wealthy family, but his social position is threatened by his affair with his brother-in-law's girlfriend, played by Johansson. The film deals with themes of morality, greed, and the roles of lust, money, and luck in life, leading many to compare it to Allen's earlier film Crimes and Misdemeanors, 1989. The Island is a 2005 American science fiction thriller film directed and co-produced by Michael Bay. It stars Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson, Jimon Hunsu, Sean Bean, Michael Clark Duncan, and Steve Buscemi. The film is about Lincoln Sixeco, McGregor, who struggles to fit into the highly structured world in which he lives, isolated in a compound, and the series of events that unfold when he questions how truthful that world is. Scoop is a 2006 romantic crime comedy film written and directed by Woody Allen and starring Hugh Jackman, Scarlett Johansson, Ian McShane and Allen himself. The film was released in the United States by Focus Features on July 28, 2006. The Black Dahlia is a 2006 neo-noir crime thriller film directed by Brian De Palma, written by Josh Friedman, and starring Josh Hartnett, Scarlett Johansson, Aaron Eckhart, Hilary Swank, and Mia Kirshner. It is an adaptation of the 1987 novel of the same name by James Ellroy, in turn drawn from the widely sensationalized murder of Elizabeth Short. The Prestige is a 2006 mystery thriller film directed by Christopher Nolan and written by Nolan and his brother Jonathan, based on the 1995 novel of the same name by Christopher Priest. It follows Robert Angier and Alfred Borden, rival stage magicians in London at the end of the 19th century. The Nanny Diaries is a 2007 American comedy-drama film written and directed by Shari Springer Berman and Robert Pulcini, based on the 2002 novel of the same name by Emma McLaughlin and Nicola Krauss. Starring Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, and Laura Linney, the film tells the story of a college graduate who goes to work as a nanny for a rich and wealthy family in New York City. Ensconced in their home, she has to juggle their dysfunction, a new romance, and the spoiled brat in her charge. The Other Boleyn Girl is a 2008 historical romantic drama film directed by Justin Chadwick. The screenplay by Peter Morgan was adapted from Philippa Gregory's 2001 novel of the same name. It is a fictionalized account of the lives of 16th-century aristocrats Mary Boleyn, one-time mistress of King Henry VIII, and her sister, Anne, who became the monarch's ill-fated second wife, though the film does not represent history accurately. Vicky Cristina Barcelona is a 2008 romantic comedy-drama film written and directed by Woody Allen. The plot centers on two American women, Vicky and Cristina, who spend a summer in Barcelona, where they meet an artist, Juan Antonio, who is attracted to both of them while still enamored of his mentally and emotionally unstable ex-wife Maria Elena. The film was shot in Spain in Barcelona, Avilés, and Oviedo, and was Allen's fourth consecutive film shot outside the United States. The Spirit is a 2008 American neo-noir superhero film written and directed by Frank Miller and starring Gabriel Macht, Eva Mendes, Sarah Paulson, Dan Lauria, Paz Vega, Scarlett Johansson, and Samuel L. Jackson. The film is based on the newspaper comic strip The Spirit, by Will Eisner, and produced by Odd Lot and Lionsgate Films. He's Just Not That Into You is a 2009 American romantic comedy-drama film directed by Ken Kwapis and distributed by Warner Bros. Pictures. It is based on Greg Berrance and Liz DiCillo's 2004 self-help book of the same name. Its story follows 9 people and their varying romantic problems. Iron Man 2 is a 2010 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character Iron Man. Produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Paramount Pictures, it is the sequel to Iron Man, 2008, and the third film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Directed by Jon Favreau and written by Justin Theroux, the film stars Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Iron Man alongside Gwyneth Paltrow, Don Cheadle, Scarlett Johansson, Sam Rockwell, Mickey Rourke, and Samuel L. Jackson. We Bought a Zoo is a 2011 American family comedy drama film loosely based on the 2008 memoir of the same name by Benjamin Mee. It was co-written and directed by Cameron Crowe and stars Matt Damon as widowed father Benjamin Mee, who purchases a dilapidated zoo with his family and takes on the challenge of preparing the zoo for its reopening to the public. The film also stars Scarlett Johansson, Maggie Elizabeth Jones, Thomas Hayden Church, Patrick Fugit, Elle Fanning, Colin Ford, and John Michael Higgins. The Avengers is a 2012 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team of the same name. Produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, it is the 6th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Written and directed by Joss Whedon, the film features an ensemble cast including Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, and Jeremy Renner as the Avengers, alongside Tom Hiddleston, Clark Gregg, Kobe Smulders, Stellan Skarsgård, and Samuel L. Jackson. In the film, Nick Fury and the spy agency S.H.I.E.L.D. recruit Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Bruce Banner, and Thor to form a team capable of stopping Thor's brother Loki from subjugating Earth. Hitchcock is a 2012 American biographical drama romance film directed by Sasha Gervasi and based on Stephen Rebello's 1990 nonfiction book Alfred Hitchcock and the Making of Psycho. Hitchcock tells the story of the relationship between Alfred Hitchcock and his wife Alma Reville during the filming of Psycho in 1959. Hitchcock premiered at the AFI Fest on November 1, 2012 and was released in the United States on November 23, 2012, by Fox Searchlight Pictures. Don John is a 2013 American romantic comedy drama film written and directed by Joseph Gordon-Levitt in his feature directorial debut. The film stars Gordon-Levitt, Scarlett Johansson, and Julianne Moore, with Rob Brown, Glenn Headley, Brie Larson, and Tony Danza in supporting roles. The film premiered under its original title Don John's Addiction at the Sundance Film Festival on January 18, 2013, and had its wide release in the United States on September 27, 2013. Under the Skin is a 2013 science fiction film directed by Jonathan Glazer and written by Glazer and Walter Campbell, loosely based on the 2000 novel by Michelle Faber. It stars Scarlett Johansson as an otherworldly woman who preys on men in Scotland. The film premiered at Telluride Film Festival on August 29, 2013. Chef is a 2014 American comedy drama film written, co-produced, directed by, and starring Jon Favreau. Favreau plays the chef who, after a public altercation with a food critic, loses his job at a popular Los Angeles restaurant and begins to operate a food truck with his young son. It co-stars Sofia Vergara, John Leguizamo, Scarlett Johansson, Oliver Platt, Bobby Cannavale, and Dustin Hoffman, along with Robert Downey Jr. in a cameo role. Captain America: The Winter Soldier is a 2014 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character Captain America, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the sequel to Captain America: The First Avenger, 2011, and the ninth film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. The film was directed by Anthony and Joe Russo from a screenplay by the writing team of Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. It stars Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, Captain America, alongside Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, Kobe Smulders, Frank Grillo, Emily Van Camp, Haley Atwell, Robert Redford, and Samuel L. Jackson. In the film, Captain America joins forces with Black Widow and Falcon to uncover a conspiracy within the spy agency S.H.I.E.L.D. while facing a mysterious assassin known as the Winter Soldier. Lucy is a 2014 French science fiction action film written and directed by Luc Besson and produced by his wife Virginie Besson-Chila, for his company Europa Corp. It is an English-language film shot in Taipei, Paris, and New York City. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Morgan Freeman, Choi Min-sik, and Amber Wacht. Johansson portrays the titular character, a woman who gains psychokinetic abilities when a nootropic drug is absorbed into her bloodstream. Avengers: Age of Ultron is a 2015 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team The Avengers, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the sequel to The Avengers, 2012, and the 11th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Written and directed by Joss Whedon, the film features an ensemble cast including Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Don Cheadle, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, Kobe Smulders, Anthony Mackie, Haley Atwell, Idris Elba, Stellan Skarsgård, James Spader, and Samuel L. Jackson. In the film, the Avengers fight Ultron, an artificial intelligence obsessed with causing human extinction. Hail, Caesar is a 2016 American comedy film written, produced, edited, and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen. The film stars Josh Brolin, George Clooney, Alden Ehrenreich, Ralph Fiennes, Jonah Hill, Scarlett Johansson, Frances McDormand, Tilda Swinton, and Channing Tatum. It is a fictional story that follows the real-life fixer Eddie Mannix, Brolin, working in the Hollywood film industry in the 1950s, trying to discover what happened to a cast member who vanished during the filming of a biblical epic. Captain America: Civil War is a 2016 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character Captain America, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the sequel to Captain America: The First Avenger, 2011, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier, 2014, and the 13th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. The film was directed by Anthony and Joe Russo from a screenplay by the writing team of Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, and stars Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, Captain America, alongside an ensemble cast including Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, Don Cheadle, Jeremy Renner, Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Rudd, Emily Van Camp, Tom Holland, Frank Grillo, William Hurt, and Daniel Bruhl. In Captain America: Civil War, disagreement over international oversight of the Avengers fractures the team into two opposing factions, one led by Steve Rogers and the other by Tony Stark. Ghost in the Shell is a 2017 American science fiction action film directed by Rupert Sanders and written by Jamie Moss, William Wheeler, and Aaron Kruger, based on the Japanese manga of the same name by Masamune Shirow. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Takeshi Kitano, Michael Pitt, Pilu Asbæk, Shin Han, and Juliette Binoche. Set in a near future when the line between humans and robots is blurring, the plot follows the Major, Johansson, a cyborg super soldier who investigates her past. Rough Night, released in some countries as Girls' Night Out, is a 2017 American black comedy film directed by Lucia Aniello, in her feature debut, and written by Aniello and Paul W. Downs. It stars Scarlett Johansson, Zoe Kravitz, Kate McKinnon, Jillian Bell, Ilana Glazer, Paul Downs, Ty Burrell, and Demi Moore, and follows a bachelorette party that goes wrong after a male stripper dies. Avengers: Infinity War is a 2018 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team The Avengers, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the sequel to The Avengers, 2012, and Avengers: Age of Ultron, 2015, and the 19th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Directed by Anthony and Joe Russo and written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, the film features an ensemble cast including Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Benedict Cumberbatch, Don Cheadle, Tom Holland, Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Danai Gurira, Letitia Wright, Dave Bautista, Zoe Saldana, Josh Brolin, and Chris Pratt. In the film, the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy attempt to prevent Thanos from collecting the 6 all-powerful Infinity Stones as part of his quest to kill half of all life in the universe. Marriage Story is a 2019 drama film written and directed by Noah Baumbach, who produced the film with David Heyman. It stars Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, with Laura Dern, Alan Alda, Ray Liotta, Julie Haggerty, and Merritt Weaver in supporting roles. The film follows a married couple, an actress and a stage director, Johansson and Driver, going through a coast-to-coast divorce. Jojo Rabbit is a 2019 comedy-drama film written and directed by Taika Waititi, based on Christine Lunenz's 2008 book Caging Skies. Roman Griffin Davis portrays the title character, Johannes Jojo Betzler, a Hitler Youth member who finds out his mother, Scarlett Johansson, is hiding a Jewish girl, Thomasin Mackenzie, in their attic. He must then question his beliefs, while dealing with the intervention of his imaginary friend, a fanciful version of Adolf Hitler, Waititi, with a comedic stand on the politics of the war. Avengers: Endgame is a 2019 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team The Avengers, produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the direct sequel to Avengers: Infinity War, 2018, and the 22nd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Directed by Anthony and Joe Russo and written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, the film features an ensemble cast including Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Don Cheadle, Paul Rudd, Brie Larson, Karen Gillan, Denai Guerrera, Benedict Wong, Jon Favreau, Bradley Cooper, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Josh Brolin. In the film, the surviving members of the Avengers and their allies attempt to reverse the damage caused by Thanos in Infinity War. Black Widow is an upcoming American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character of the same name. Produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, it is intended to be the 24th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. The film was directed by Kate Shortland and written by Eric Pearson from a story by Jack Schaefer and Ned Benson, and stars Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow alongside Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Oti Fagbenal, William Hurt, Ray Winstone, and Rachel Weisz. Set after Captain America: Civil War, 2016, the film sees Romanoff on the run and forced to confront her past.